I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to call this meeting, this InterClub, to order. And if I can have everyone who can grab a spot and help me with the salute to the flag and the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you can all join me, please, and God bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you. If I can have our member, Jerry McHugh, to do our invocation, please.
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to gather in fellowship. Help us to remember that we are here to serve, not to be served. Guide us to understand the wisdom and simplicity, and remind us daily of the many people of the world who need help. Allow us to be there for others and assist them in their time of need. Please bless this food we are about to receive. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, so before we have our lunch, I want to have an opportunity. You guys can sit. I want to have an opportunity to welcome everybody and see who's here with us. First of all, I want to make sure that our Kiwanis members know that the Chelsea Club's new home is this home, which is the Jordan Boys and Girls Club. We've decided at the end of last year that we were spending too much money for not good enough meals, and we can use that money to be given back to the children of the city of Chelsea. So we moved to the Jordan Boys and Girls Club, and we're excited that you are here in our new home. So we meet on Thursdays at 12:15 here at the club, at the Boys and Girls Club downstairs. This is the big room. So welcome to this beautiful space that has been borrowed, it's been given to us. And one of our members is a board member of the Jordan Boys and Girls Club, which is exciting. I want to make sure that you guys know as well that we're selling 50-50. We have a door price, so if you have not gotten a white ticket, please make sure that you let the table up front know. And we're selling 50-50. We're also selling our 90th anniversary raffle. We're excited to announce that the Chelsea Club turns 90 this November, and we are having our celebration at the annual Kowloon Comedy Night, which we will have flyers and tickets for that event very soon. But in the meantime, you may want to get lucky and purchase a ticket for $10, which gives you an opportunity to win up to $2,000, okay? So we have plenty of those tickets. We got them last week just in time for our InterClub. So the winners will be selected the night of our comedy night. I want to kindly ask my members for the Chelsea Club to please stand up so I can introduce all of them. Starting with our Vice President, Rich Cutley, our immediate past President, Tricia Mankiewicz, our Treasurer, Jerry McHugh, our Secretary, Andres Gonzalez, our previous past Lieutenant Governor, John Chirchero, Board Member, Renee Castle-Griffin, and Board Member, Paul Swart, and also member of the club, our most recent addition, is Joe Carrera from El Potro Mexican restaurant here in Chelsea. And if you haven't tried that restaurant, you need to come. It's delicious. We should have a meeting there, all of us. You're all invited. Okay, thank you. So can we present our clubs? Maybe we should start with our Greater Boston Young Professionals Club and our Lieutenant Governor.
That's easy. My name's Phil Bradford. record, I'm from the Greater Boston Youth Professionals Club, and I'm the only one here, your Lieutenant Governor.
Welcome, thank you. The Everett Club?
John Matuccio. We have Kathy Ann, John, Sandy, Roland Hughes. You know, Hughes. And Matt.
Excellent, thank you for joining us. Our East Boston, the East Boston Club?
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Let me catch my breath. John Schwagel, current president, East Boston. Dr. Matt Mallon, past president. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Letitia, there she is.
Thank you, forgot one.
Just got it. There she is. Hi, Letitia.
Thank you. Malden?
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say Malden had El Potro before Chelsea did.
Oh, thank you.
I am a two-time past president, a past lieutenant governor, and co-president-elect. So I'll be back behind the podium with the gavel to torture my members again. So I am a lot of fun. I have with me a past president and current board member, Tom Shellepies.
Thank you.
And our InterClub is May 16th. It's a Thursday night. It's a comedy show at Giggles. Tickets are $25 for all you can eat pizza. 3 comedians we're still working on our slate. I have tickets if you're interested.
Thank you. Make sure we support the Malden Club. And Somerville?
Good afternoon, Paul Upton. I'm the immediate past president of Kiwanis and current secretary of the Somerville Club. We have past president Mike McWilliams, member Katia Aruda, past president Isaac Machado, and member and Mayor Emeritus Eugene C. Broom here. And we do have, we're working right now on our new school backpack program, which was extraordinarily successful last year. And you'll be hearing more about that, and any support we can get would be great. We'd be grateful.
Thank you so much. Medford? Nobody from Medford? Am I missing anyone? No. I want to then introduce our guests and our speakers, and then we'll have lunch. Beth from the Suffolk County Children's Advocacy Center, and all of her staff, all of the other staff that are accompanying her today, still daylight, so we get it together. And she will speak to us more in detail about her presentation, but let's have lunch first, okay? Thank you. Sensitive to everyone's time, and I know everybody's eating, though please feel comfortable continuing eating. Wasn't this meal delicious?
Yeah.
So the meal was catered by Chelsea Station, which is a new restaurant here in Chelsea. And if you guys don't know, but the name comes because it used to be a fire's house, and it used to be one of the fire stations in Chelsea, and it's now a restaurant. They've been open for 3 years, look at that. If you haven't been, please come by, it's delicious, the food is very, very good. This is their chef, Shelly. Thank you for the delicious food. And we hope that you and your family and your fellow Kiwanians come to the station to have a taste of their other items that they have in the menu. I want to take an opportunity to invite our speaker, Beth Elizabeth. She will be talking to us for a few, and then we can ask questions, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, thank you.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. How was that lunch? Delicious. Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Well, I am thrilled to be here with you today, and I want to thank you so much for inviting me and the rest of the team from the Children's Advocacy Center here to speak with you. This is a tough topic to talk about when we're talking about child abuse, and I really appreciate that this group makes such an impact in the lives of kids in our community and in Chelsea. I know the Kiwanis group really focuses on helping children one child at a time, and I think we're united together in that. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to briefly talk about the CAC, the Children's Advocacy Center, what our program offers to the community, and really why we exist, why it's so important to have a program that can respond to some of the most vulnerable families and kids in our communities. And then we'll have time for questions. So thank you for having me here. So who are we? We are from the Children's Advocacy Center in Suffolk County. We are a program that's been around since 1995. And since 1995, we've served thousands of children. We serve about 1,500 kids each year. I am the SEEN, the Support to End Exploitation Now program manager at the CAC, and I've been working with the CAC since 2012. One of the very first child trafficking cases I was assigned to involved a 12-year-old girl from Chelsea. She had been exploited and trafficked by an adult man that first pretended to support her family and ultimately took advantage of her lack of citizenship status and her family's vulnerability as he ingrained himself into her life and exploited her. She needed a lot of material support and emotional support to begin her path to healing, and I was really blown away and impressed with how the community of Chelsea rallied around her. She worked with doctors, clinicians, and mentor attorneys and advocates who truly rallied around her. It was beautiful to see, and that was my first introduction to this great city. So I'm eager to be in front of this group today, an entity dedicated to supporting the community here and supporting the well-being of children. And we're raising a topic that's not frequently discussed and not really easy to talk about. Did you know that 1 in 10 children are sexually abused before the age of 18? The CAC exists because abuse is real, and unfortunately, it's very pervasive. It's painful and it's difficult to talk about, and it's something that happens more often than most people know or feel comfortable thinking about. So what does this mean for kids that we serve? The impact of abuse for children can mean a lot of different things. It can mean that kids have trouble with their families, they have trouble in school, they may feel anxious or isolated. All of these different things are experienced by children who are physically or sexually abused. We want to make sure that kids have a safety net so that they don't have to go through this by themselves. During the last calendar year, our center was referred 1,985 individual children. Not cases, children. Children whose lives and the lives of their parents, their brothers, their sisters, and their friends were for a time turned upside down. Out of this group, we responded to over 1,400 reports of sexual abuse, over 300 reports of physical abuse, 204 reports of high risk and commercial sexual exploitation of children, 167 reports of neglect, and 69 reports of children witnessing violence. During 2018, 111 of CAC referrals involved children from Chelsea, children from this community. And 38% of these referrals included reports of sexual abuse. Approximately 1 out of every 20 kids referred to the SEEN program, the program that I work with, are from Chelsea. And over the past 15 years, that program has received over 1,800 referrals for high-risk and exploited youth. So that means for Chelsea, that comes to about 100 kids, 100 teens and children from this city. So what are all these numbers mean? We know that these numbers are striking. And what's startling, despite these high numbers and this high volume, we know that most kids don't tell when they've been abused. 9 out of 10 children don't report the abuse they experience when it happens, and 2 out of 3 never report that it happens at all. So what's the greatest danger to children who've been abused? Slide animation always makes it a little more technically difficult. Silence is the most dangerous thing for children. We know that children are often afraid to speak up about their abuser. Their abuser may have threatened them, or they might be worried about what their families will think. and what might happen to them and to their families if they do step forward. They need to know that they have somewhere to go and someone to go to who will believe them and who will support them. Because this issue is so hidden, it can be incredibly difficult for anyone, let alone the smallest among us, to step forward and to ask for help. So we know that sometimes silence itself speaks the loudest. And that's why we exist. That's why the CAC is here. We know that abused and exploited children and their families need expert care and a path to healing, and that is what we strive to provide to our families each and every day. It's courageous when kids are able to disclose abuse, to talk about what's happened, but when kids can't, it's also courageous that they continue living each day as best they can. Whether or not kids are able to ask for help when they are ready, or when the people in their lives have concerns about them, we exist. We're here to help them. So the first thing that we do in the community, the CAC provides training to professionals, to community members, to families, and to partner agencies working with children and youth. And this is critical because we know if most kids don't tell, we need to learn the signs, the red flags, the indicators of abuse so that we can recognize kids in need of help and support them. We help providers and partners learn what to look for, the signs of abuse, and what steps they need to take to respond appropriately. In absence of the CAC, it can be very difficult for families to receive coordinated care. So take, for example, Crystal. Imagine that Crystal is a 12-year-old girl, and she finds the courage to come forward, to go to one of her teachers at school, and to disclose that she's been abused. Most professionals, if they were to receive a disclosure, would snap into action, right? Maybe that teacher listens to her, maybe starts asking some questions, but maybe then they walk down to the school nurse's office. Again, maybe that school nurse is asking questions of Crystal, and then somebody says, wait a second, this child should be taken to the hospital. Maybe the child's brought to the hospital, and folks say, wait, we need to bring law enforcement in to communicate with this child, to think about the crime, to gather facts and information about the case. It could be that while the community is trying to help and support Crystal, they're actually re-traumatizing her by asking her about what's happened over and over and over. We want to prevent the re-traumatization of kids. We want them to only have to tell their story one time to somebody that is trained to talk to them about what's happened. We want to make the process smooth and streamlined for families so that they go to one place and get all the coordinated care and services that they need. So that's really what the CAC is about. So some of the services that we offer, I'm going to briefly describe our primary services. What we do for families is provide multidisciplinary team coordination. We work with all of these different partners that span law enforcement, the courts, child welfare, the different providers in the community, medical partners, mental health clinicians, all those different organizations and programs and people that support children when they've gone through something terrible. Without the CAC, it can be that these groups are communicating in silos or not communicating at all. And we exist to pull these partners together and to make a strong, streamlined plans so that families don't go through what Crystal went through. We also offer other services such as forensic interviewing. And here you can see some of our forensic interviewing space. I want you to think a little bit like Law and Order, but a lot more child-friendly. And here you can see on the bottom right is our teen interview room. At the top is our child interview room. And here you can see the other side of the double-sided mirror. Forensic interviewing is something that's conducted by a trained professional who specializes in speaking with youth about abuse and specializes in child development. We have several forensic interviewers on our staff who are trained to talk to kids about what they've been through in a non-leading way so that kids can describe what they've experienced. This helps us to build a case if someone has committed a crime against that child, but more importantly, it gives a child a voice and a chance to really talk about what they've been through. And you can see we're a little bit proud. This picture here on the bottom, my left, our team room has new furniture. Because we do rely on our community partners to help us, we received a great donation. So now we have this really sort of bright, fun, colorful room for kids so that they feel as comfortable as they can as they go through this process. We also have on-site medical services. We have a pediatric sexual assault nurse examiner on-site with our staff. And this is a specialist, an expert, who can provide non-invasive, painless forensic examinations for children. She can provide follow-up testing, and importantly, she can reassure families. She can speak with kids and their parents and caregivers about their medical concerns. She can give advice, she can make referrals to other follow-up services. So we're very lucky to have a dean on site with us. We also have a family advocacy program. We have family advocates who are trained and equipped to help families navigate through the process of being involved with all these different systems. Our family advocates provide psychoeducation to families, they provide support to caregivers, parents, and kids, and they help connect them to other supportive services through referrals in the community. So they are a critical piece of our system of care, whether a case is going forward to trial or whether it's not going forward. And we also have specialized mental health services. I'm highlighting two here. Both of these services are evidence-based mental health services for clients. CFTSI is focused on symptom management, and it's proven to reduce post-traumatic stress syndrome in children. And it really focuses on child and caregiver communication, making sure that after kids have been through something like abuse, that they can talk with their caregivers about what they need, how they're doing, and what they're going through, and give parents the tools to communicate with their kids and to express their concern for and care for them. Finally, I want to highlight our SEEN program, our Support to End Exploitation Now program, which is something I'm very proud of. SEEN really is a groundbreaking organization or a groundbreaking program that's been a leader in our community here in Boston and Suffolk County and Chelsea. SEEN was one of the first groups here in Massachusetts, but also across the country, to say that child trafficking is not prostitution, commercial sexual exploitation is child abuse. So rather than lock up children or arrest them or detain them when somebody is exploiting them, we helped elevate this issue and say that that is a form of child abuse, and kids in that situation are deserving of care and support. So we have specialized SEEN family advocates who work with children and their families and all of the different multidisciplinary professionals who support kids who have experienced child trafficking in our community. So, what's unique about the CAC? What, in my opinion, makes our center so special is that we provide prompt, sensitive, multidisciplinary responses to child abuse every day so children and families can focus on healing. All of this is offered under one roof, and it's tailored to each individual family that needs us. Just this month, we received many different cases. I talked about our statistics, the data, the volume of kids being referred to us. And I want to help illustrate why it's so important that the CAC exists. It's important because just this month, when a 14-year-old girl found the courage to report that an adult family member had been sexually abusing her for years, she was immediately connected to a supportive CAC multidisciplinary team that was ready to listen to her and to help protect her for the first time. Just this month at the CAC, a 10-year-old boy began working with a family advocate after he was contacted by a stranger online and repeatedly sent unwanted explicit photos. The advocate is supporting the boy and his mother. She's providing critical psychoeducation around online safety and the impact of how images can hurt. And also just this week, a SEEN multidisciplinary team, including a coordinator, a DA's office prosecutor, an advocate, a detective, and a forensic interviewer, went on the road to meet a 15-year-old girl off-site at a local hospital where she said she felt most comfortable talking. She participated in a forensic interview, and she was able to open up about how she had become involved with a man in his 30s, a man whom she met online, whom she said was nice to her at first, bought her new clothes and paid for an expensive hairdo and a manicure, but he did this before he started hitting her and posting her in online advertisements for sex. He took her to hotels and he facilitated human trafficking and sexually exploited her. Since the interview, the team has been in communication around the clock, convening case conferences, coordinating the investigation, and connecting her to much-needed clinical care and mentoring. We know that children are resilient. I can't tell you what it means to talk about this hard topic with people who might not interact with this issue every day. It's humbling to be invited here to talk about this with a group so dedicated to helping families one child at a time. Each year, the CAC hosts a Stair Climb event to raise funds and awareness for child abuse and the kids that we serve. And actually, do you want to skip back just one? Sorry, that's okay. One more. Actually, go forward. Okay. Let's see. Stay here. Stay here. We'll get back to that. It's really important that we connect with people who understand the gravity of this issue, is what I'm trying to say. And overall, we want families to know that we are a center and a safe space that can connect their families to security, to justice, and to healing. So we love that many of our families feel that when they step through our doors. 98% of caregivers have reported that our staff was respectful, professional, and provided resources that their families needed. And here's a quote from one of the mothers working with the kids that we're trying to support. Overall, we see that parents and caregivers identify the CAC as a place where they feel protection, where they feel safety, and most importantly, where they feel like their kids and themselves are a priority. And now I'll get back to this image. So each year, we host a Stair Climb event. It's called the Ginormous Climb. It's a really fun day in our community, and it's all about celebrating the bravery of kids stepping forward, but also the courage our community has to embrace kids who step forward and talk about their abuse. So this is some of the art that we use to celebrate that event. And as I stand here before you and this group that cares so much about kids, it strikes me that this is a group of ginormous heroes. We interact with the community, we receive a lot of support through partnering with different agencies and different groups. And one of the most critical things is engaging with folks that have the power to connect families to healing supports that they need. So I hope that you come to know the CAC as a place where families can feel safe, where they can seek justice, and where they can receive expert care every time that they pass through our doors. And I hope that going forward, you can help connect kids in Chelsea and their families to us so that we can help them in taking those first steps towards healing. So I want to thank you all so much for hearing about us and the work that we do. If you have any follow-up questions, certainly you can contact me or my other partners at any time. But again, I want to thank you so much for being here and for engaging with us on this really challenging topic. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions for her?
Where is your facility?
So our center is located in Brighton. We're off the Green Line down near the Aganis Arena.
Where do you get your funding stream?
Funding stream question. It's so convenient that I happen to have some of our development team members here with me. Do you mind if I put you on the spot?
No, it's fine. And Susan, feel free to jump in if you want. We have a pretty robust diversity of funding. We do get some larger federal and state grants. We do rely heavily and increasingly heavily on community support, which is a little under a quarter of our budget. And we also have some really fantastic partnerships with the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office in the city of Boston, where we get a lot of our facilities and some of our staff. So we're always looking to diversify with corporate and financial support as well.
Yes.
So we talked a lot about Chelsea today, but we've got folks in this room who are from other Suffolk County communities. And when we think about the training that your organization offers, and some of these folks might go back to the agencies in their cities, how would they get in touch with you and ask questions about providing training in their communities?
Great question, thank you. Well, I'm also very lucky to be accompanied by our training manager, Mary Beth Dawson. And we honestly are thrilled when partner agencies want to work with us. I shared those really striking numbers with you, but the reality is that most kids aren't talking about abuse. The more training that we do, the more kids that we recognize that we can help. So certainly if you or your partner agencies are ready to talk with us about training, you can reach out to me, and certainly you can reach out to Mary Beth, who has some contact info and handouts she'll be putting out at the back.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Beth, so much for coming with the team from the Children's Advocacy Center. I think it's a hard topic to talk about, but it's important that we, as adults, know that these services are available for our community and our children, most importantly, and specifically us, that we're servicing the children of our communities one day at a time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.